teach you Chapter 1 Development of Economics of Class 10. The idea of development or progress. The idea of development or progress has always been with us. We have many desires. We have many desires about what we would like to do and how we would like to live. Similarly, we have ideas about what a country should be like. What are the essential things that we require? Can life be better for all or not? How should people live together? Can there be more equality? Development involves thinking about these questions, about the ways in which we can work towards achieving these goals. This is a complex task, and in this chapter we shall make a beginning at the understanding development. We will learn more about those problems which are coming in greater depth in higher classes. We will find answers of many of those questions which not just in economics but also in your course in history and political science. This is because the way we live today, that is influenced by the past. We can't desire for change without being aware of this. In the same way, it's only through a democratic political process these hopes and possibilities which can be achieved in a real life. Now, what development promises different people, different goals? First of all, what do you mean by the development? Development is a real growth of a person, city, state, and country when their income is increasing and their standard of life of a person is also increasing. Different people have different development goals. The development goals are changing from people to people. For example, a girl expects as much freedom and opportunity as her brother, that he also shares in the household work. Her brother may not like this. Similarly, to get more electricity, industrialists may want more dams, but this may submerge the land and disrupt the lives of the people who are displaced, such as tribals. They might resent this and may prefer small check dams or tanks to irrigate their land. So two things are quite clear about development. Different person can have different development goals, and two, what may be development for one may not be development for the others. Means one thing is development for one person. We cannot say that it may be same development for other person. So it may even be destructive for the other person. This is the example of this. This person is driving car, but this lady is sitting under a hut. This is her development and this is his development. Those people don't want to develop. So we can say that development promises a real growth by increasing total income, standard of living of a person, and different people have different development goals. The development goals are changing from people to people. Now, next point is income and other goals. If you go table 1.1, again you can see here their development goals of different categories of persons. Those persons who landless rural laborers, their development goals will be more days of work, better wages, local schools is able to provide equality equations for their children, and there is no social discriminations. They too can become leaders in the village. Second type of category of person, prosperous farmers from the Punjab, and their development goals is to ensure a high family income through a higher spot prices for their crops, and through the hard working cheap laborers they should be able to settle their children abroad. Like these other category of persons like farmers who depend only on the rain for growing crops, so then rain is their development goals. A rural woman from a land owning families, urban unemployed youth, they want to job. A boy from a rich urban family, they want to freedom. A girl from a rich urban family, she gets as much freedom as her brother, and she is able to decide what she want to do in her life. She is able to pursue her study abroad. You can give the example this. And an Adivasi from Narmada valleys, they want to food, shelter, etc. These are the development goals of their these Adivasis from Narmada valleys. So we can say that there are different different type of person, there are different type of development goals. We will notice one common thing. What people desires are regular work, better wages, decent prices for their crops and other products which they want to produce. In other words, they want more income. Before going to learn about more income, one thing in mind: what do you want to people? People also seek those things like equal treatment, freedom, security, respect of others. All these are important goals. There in society there are two types of peoples. One people, those who wants to equal treatment, freedom, security, respect of others, and other type of peoples who wants to only income. All these are important goals. In fact, in some cases, these may be more important than more income, more consumptions, because material goods are not all that we need to live. Money, material things that one can buy with it, is the one factor on which our life depends. But quality of our life depends on the non-material things like equal treatment, freedom, security, respect of others. If it's not obvious to you, then just think of the role of your friends in your life. You may desire their friendship. Similarly, there are many things that are not easily measured, but they mean a lot of our lives. These are often ignored. However, we can say that it will be wrong to conclude that what cannot be measured is not important. And another example, if you get a job in a far off place, before accepting it, you would try to consider many factors apart from your income, such as facilities for your family, working atmosphere, opportunity to learn. In another case, a job may give you less pay but may offer you regular employment. It enhances your sense of security. And another job, it may offer high pay but no job security. It also leave no time for your family. This will reduce your sense of security and freedom. Similarly, for development, people look at mix of goals. It's true, if women are engaged in paid work, their dignity in the household and society increases. It is also the other case. If there is a respect for women, there would be more sharing of housework and a greater acceptance of women working outside. A safe and secure environment which may allow more women to take up variety of jobs and run a business. So the developmental goals that people have are not only about better income but also about other important things. Means people prefer to earn more income for fulfilling their daily requirements of their life. Those companies who provide material things like money, but people also want non-material things like freedom, security, respect of others. Some companies who provide less salary but they provide regular employment enhances sense of securities. In other case, some companies provide high salary but offer no job security. They reduce the sense of securities. This is the income and other goals. Now next point is national development. This is the national development. What do you mean by national development? We can compare different countries' state on the basis of per capita income. Per capita income. We can say per capita income. As we have seen above, individuals seek different goals, look different goals. Then their notion of national development is also likely to be different. Most likely, you would find that different students in the class have given different answers of this question. In fact, you might yourself think of many different answers, not be too sure of any of these. It's very, very important to keep in mind that different persons could have different as well as conflicting notions of a country's development. So we can say that we cannot take national income to compare different countries because of each country has different population rate. Per capita income is calculated by dividing total income. Per capita income is calculated by dividing total income of a country by total population of a country For example, our total income is 25 lakhs and population of a country is 1 lakh. Then per capita income is, we will cut these zeros with zeros, 25 rupees per capital income. Per person earns income 25 rupees. However, can all the ideas be considered equally important? If there are conflicts, how does one decide what would be a fair, just path for all? We also have to think whether there is a better way of doing things. Would the idea benefit a large number of people or only a small group? National development means thinking about these questions. You can look this picture. In this picture, discuss the following situation. Look at the picture on the right side. What should be the developmental goal of such an area? Read this newspaper report and answer the questions that follow. A vessel dumped 500 tons of liquid toxic waste into open air dumps in a city and in the surrounding sea. This happened in a city called Abidjan in Ivory Coast, a country in Africa. The fumes from the highly toxic waste caused nausea, skin rashes, fainting, diarrhea, etc. After a month, 7 persons were dead, 20 in hospital, 26,000 treated for symptoms of poisoning. A multinational company dealing in petroleum and metals had contracted a local company of the Ivory Coast to dispose the toxic waste from its ship. Who are the people who benefited and who did not? What should be the developmental goal of this country? What can be some of the developmental goals for your village, town or locality? So we can say that we can compare different countries. So we can say that national development refers to ability of a nation to improve the standard of living of its citizens. Standard of living of citizens depend upon per capita income, gross domestic product, GDP, gross domestic product, literacy rate, ability of health, availability of health, etc. These factors also considered as measure of improvement. Now next point is how to compare different countries or states. You might ask if development can mean different things. How come some countries are generally called developed? How can you say these countries are developed and these countries are underdeveloped? Before we come to this, let us consider another question which is coming in your mind. When we compare different things, they could have similarity as well as differences. Could have similarity and differences. Which aspects do we use to compare them? Let us look at the students in the class itself. How do we compare different students? They differ in their heights, health, talents and interest. The healthiest student may not be the most studious one. The most intelligent student may not be the friendliest one. So how do we compare students? The criteria we may use depends on the purpose of comparison. We use different criterion to choose a sports team, debate team, music team, team to organize a picnic. Still, if for some purpose we have to choose the criteria for all round progress of children in the class, how shall we do it? Usually we take one or more important characteristics. Characteristics means feature of persons and compare them based on these characteristics. Of course, there can be differences about what are important characteristics that should form the basis of comparison. Friendliness, spirit of cooperation, creativity or marks scored. Means main characteristics of persons which will be used for comparison That is first friendliness. How much that person's are friendliness. Spirit of cooperation. What is the spirit of cooperation of that person? And how much that person is creativity. Person has creativity. How much that person has scored marks. These are different characteristics on which we can compare them. This is the true for development too. For comparing countries, when we compare countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attribute, most important characteristics. Factor. Countries with higher incomes, those countries who have higher incomes, they are more developed than others with less income. Means income is high, country will be developed. Country will be developed. Income is less, country will be underdeveloped. And this is based on the understanding that more income means more of all things that human beings need. Whatever people like and should have, they will able to get with greater income. So greater income itself is considered to be one important goal. Now what's the income of a country? The income of country is the income of all residents of the country, and this gives us total income of the country. However, for more comparison between the countries, total income is not such an useful measure since countries have different populations. So comparing total income will not tell us what an average person is likely to earn. Are people in one country better off than others in different countries? We compare the average income. We compare their average income, which is the total income of country divided by its population. And the average income is also called per capita income. Average income or per capital income is same. In the World Development reports brought out by the World Bank, according to World Development reports which is brought out by World Bank, this criteria is used in classifying countries. Countries with per capita income US dollar 49,300 per annum above in 2019 are called high income or rich countries. Those with per capita income USA dollar 2,500 or less are called low income countries. Means those countries, according to World Development Report, those countries who have income per capita income US dollar, according to US dollar 49,300 per annum, that will be developed country. But those countries who have US dollar, according to US dollar 2,500 or less than 2,500 income of country per capita income, that country will be low income countries. India comes in the category of low middle income countries because its per capita income is on according to World Development Report in 2019 is US dollar 6,700 per annum. And these the rich countries excluding countries of Middle East, certain other small countries are generally called developed countries. This is an example of average income. Now next point is income and other criteria. Before going to income and other criteria, we explain again how to compare different countries or states. We can compare different countries or states on the basis of their per capita income. We cannot take national income to compare different countries because each country has different population rate. Per capita income is calculated by dividing total income of a country to total population of that country. A country with higher per capita income is more developed than others with less per capita income. Now next topic is income and other criteria. Income and other criteria. When we look at the individual aspirations, developmental goals, we found that people not only think of better income, they also think about goals like security, respect for others, equal treatment, freedom, etc. in the mind. Similarly, when we think of a nation or region, we may, besides average income, think of other equally important attributes. This is a per capita income of selected states. Haryana, that is 2,36,147 per capita income for 2018 or 19. Kerala, 2,04,105. Bihar, 40,982 per capita income. So we can say that in Haryana is a high per capita income, and in Bihar is 40,982 is a low per capita income. What could these attributes? Let us examine this through an example. This table is 1.3 which is given, and this table also shows the per capita income of Haryana, Kerala and Bihar. Actually these figures are of per capita net state domestic product at the current prices 2018 or 19. And what this complicated term exactly means, roughly we can take to we consider per capita income of the state. We find that of three, Haryana has the highest per capita income and Bihar is the lowest. Now this is the table 1.4 which shows the some comparative data on Haryana, Kerala and Bihar. In this it shows the infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate means death 1000 per 1000 live birth. How many deaths? In Haryana 30, Kerala 7, Bihar 32. And literacy rate according in 2017-18, Haryana 82% and in Kerala 94% and Bihar 62%. Net attendance ratio per 100 persons. Secondary stage age 14 and 15 years 2018 and 16. 18. Haryana 61%, Kerala 83 and Bihar 43. So we can it explain that infant mortality rate means number of children that die before the age 1 year as a proportion of 1000 live children. 1000 live birth, 30 death rates. Literacy rate measures the proportion of literate population in 7 and above age group. Net attendance ratio is the total number of children of age group 14 and 15 years attending the schools as a percentage of total number of children in the same age group. So we can say that for achieving the development goals of people not only want better income, they also want non-material things like the freedom, security, respect of others. For development of nation, average income per capita income is needed. If per capita income were to be used as the measurement of development, according to in this table which we discussed above, here Haryana will be considered most developed and Bihar least developed state of the three. And however, this is not true if we look at the other criteria. Now, next point is public facilities. This is a public facility. Facilities which are provided by government considered as a public facility, like school, hospitals, community halls, transport and electricity, etc. Those facilities which are provided by government, that is known as public facilities. As we know that Punjab has more income than the average person in Kerala, but Kerala has a low infant mortality rate because of better public system like public distribution system, which provide health nutritional status of to this state. We need public facility because we are not able to purchase all things by money. We cannot able to buy a pollution free environment with the help of money. Let us work these out. Look at the table in table 1.3 and 1.4. In Haryana ahead of Kerala in literacy rate, and it is in the terms of per capita income. Think of other examples where collective provision of goods and services is cheaper than individual provision. Does availability of good health educational facilities which depend on the amount of money spent by the government on these facilities? What are the other factors could be relevant? In Tamil Nadu, 90% of people living in a rural areas use the ration shop, whereas in West Bengal, only 35% of rural people do so. Where would people better off and why? You can think about it. Now next point is sustainability of development. Sustainable development refers to development of human with at the same time sustaining the ability of natural system. Suppose for the present that a particular country is quite developed. We would certainly like this level of the development to go up further, or at least be maintained for future generations. This is obviously desirable since the second half of the 20th century. A number of scientists have been warning that present type levels of development are not sustainable. Now, this is the example. Groundwater in India. Recent evidence suggests that groundwater is under the serious threat of overuse in many parts of the country. About 300 districts have reported a water level decline of over 4 meters during the past 20 years. Nearly one-third of the country is overusing their groundwater reserves. In another 25 years, 60% of country would be doing same if the present way of using this resource continues. The groundwater overuse is particularly found in the agriculturally prosperous regions of Punjab and western UP, hard rock plateau areas of central and south India, some coastal areas, rapidly growing urban settlements. Why? Why groundwater is overused? Can there be development without overuse? You have to think about this. Now, groundwater is an example of renewable resources. These resources are replenished by nature, as in the case of crops and plants. However, even these resources may be overused. For example, in case of groundwater, if we use more than what is being replenished by the rain, then we would be overusing this resource. Non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after a few years of use. We have a fixed stock on the earth which cannot be replenished. We do discover new sources that we did not know of earlier. New sources in this way add to the stock. However, over time, even this will get exhausted. And this is example of crude oil reserves, which also declining. Now, Sustainable development refers to development of human with at the same time sustaining the ability of natural system. It is helpful to fulfill the needs of the human beings without harming the ability of future generation. For sustainable development, we have to use non-renewable resources like the carbon waste originally designed fuel for the quantity how much we needed. Some renewable resources like groundwater will take long time for the replenished. So we should use that resource in finite quantity. Infant mortality ratio. Infant mortality ratio indicates the number of children who die before the age of 1 year as a proportion of 1000 live children born in that particular year. Literacy rate means which measures the proportion of literate population in the 7 and above age group. Net attendance ratio shows that it is the total number of children of age group 14 and 15 years who attending the school as a percentage of total number of children in the same age group. Now we can say that at the end, development mainly depends on development is depend upon your income and your freedom, your security. Development depends on first income, second security, third freedom, fourth respect of others, fifth equality. These all things will be present in any country, then we can say that this country is developed country. If you like my video, please like and share my channel for next videos.